Let's get to fuel in Nigeria. Of course, we've seen those prices. Now, of course, questions have arisen with respect to the components of how those prices are arrived at. Earlier on the morning show, our flagship morning show, Yakubu Suleiman, National Public Relations Officer of the Independent Petroleum Markets Association of Nigeria, said the landing cost presently is at $565. Let's take a listen.
How much are you bringing it in and landing? Give me your cost outlay. Because there's a talk that even the price could be probably more than that, and maybe there's a hedge going on by the importation. So how much is your landing cost from your suppliers, and how much are your other addition costs? Just give me the price outlay.
The price variables, if we go on, we're going to, like you say, you have a limited time, Mr.
No, please go ahead. I told
you the landing cost is, as of today.
Yes.
As of today, is about 565 at the moment. So, you can see, now we're sailing at 617. Some other areas, five something, below 6 even. But I want to tell you, if you think about, talk about the other expenses.
Hang on a minute, sir. That's the cost at which it lands at the port, right? 565 before leaving the port.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so that's the point at which it lands in Nigeria or Togo. Is it Togo or Nigeria? Because some of them land in Togo and you now bring them.
Nigeria.
Okay, it lands in Nigeria at 565.
No. This one is please let me correct you. This is a real importation, right? Bathing in Nigeria, not Togo.
Okay.
Let's talk about Togo.
Okay, so it lands at Nigeria 565. And why I mentioned Togo is because it also lands in Togo, and you know what I'm talking about, because I know the business, I know the market. So it lands Nigeria 565. All right? That's minus clearing cost and some other costs. So start to plot the cost on top of it.
Mr. Rufai, I think let's just pray.
No, please answer the question, sir.
Your market will be favorable.
No, sir. Answer the question. It's a question.
No. I'm trying to answer you.
Go ahead.
I told you what you want me to do. What you want me to do.
Yes.
We, or rather me as alone, is a kind of a team, because the importers is not a one-man affair. When the product comes, stakeholders will be there, the importers, the Nigerian Ministry of National Regulatory Authority.
So tell me all those costs, sir.
We have to sit down, negotiate. This is an inside this thing. I can't just come out like, and start telling you 1 naira, 50 kobo, 2 naira. You understand?
Okay.
It's a long calculations, which it's not something that we can come out in the public to start discussing. This.
Okay.
All right. Also, money supply in Nigeria for the month of June at an all-time high of 63.4 trillion naira. So much to get into, and who better to take us through that than Arise Business Analyst Chika Mbonu. Chika, you're very welcome. Good morning to you. Where do you choose to start? Should we start with money supply or shall we start with fuel?
Fuel, because people I have to be defending my... People say, Chika, but you said the removal subsidy was very good. So what's happening? And I said, as if people are attacking me as
if you are part of the
government or something like that,
NNPC,
and stuff like that. And, I told you about maybe 3 years ago in this program that we're a broke country and that we cannot sustain the fuel subsidy thing at the rate it was going. And because the government was also already that time even printing money. I do remember when Governor Baseki came on air and thought about printing on money.
Yes.
People nearly, cut off his head. But we saw that the government was being run by printing of money. So on the macro, on the big picture, the removal of fuel subsidy was very important for our country. We couldn't even continue to carry it. You just need to see the pictures of the abandoned stations at the borders, where you have almost 1,000 empty jerry cans or drums in Cameroon and Togo and Benin Republic. Businesses have died to understand the fact that this has been good for Nigeria on that big level. Also, you need to look at a report that from this esoteric 60 million barrels consumption a day that we have been inundated with, down to about, I'm told, about 40 million barrels a day now.
Yes.
So on the big picture, this is very, very good for the country. Now, as most of us have said, what has not been handled very well, and surprisingly, I'm not surprised because, you see, Nigeria lacks diligent rigor, rigor in doing things. And sometimes we expect too much from the government, but the people who enter government, we already know them when they're outside government, so we know about their capacity. And so you expect when they enter government, they become miracle workers. And they're able to think through things, project manage properly, make certain things link up well and together. But it doesn't happen that way.
Yeah.
Because we believe that the issues arising from the removal of fuel subsidy should have been handled better.
Yeah.
Now, let's even talk about the pricing. Nobody comes to this program and talks about whether MTN recharge cards or data is at 10 naira per distance. Somebody just say, let me know how calculated it. Glow, let me let her know how much you calculated it. Because of the fact that at the end of the day, the free market has come to that sector.
Yes.
And taking care of things. We're still far away from that in this petroleum downstream sector.
Yeah.
Because as of now, everything's still imported.
Yeah.
The bigger equation, the bigger ocean, is when a Dangote refinery comes on stream.
Yeah.
Our refineries start working, so we have supply that is guaranteed. So importation becomes just a supplement, just to supplement any low production. So Dangote comes on stream, our refineries come on stream. So we have supply.
Yeah.
So what's happening now is because everything is still all imported. And so who will bear the card? Who will mark the script? Which answer is correct? So I saw Rufai battling with the Ipman guy about how to calculate it.
Yeah.
And he says landed cost is 565 and so on and so forth. Of course, I know that we can, out of this program, go and get proper accountants to do the calculation, which we will do, to get actually what's the landed cost at the port. And which, so whereas we're reducing government influence in that also, we need, a counterbalance. Somebody also that will make sure that consumers are protected.
Yeah.
And we don't have a lot of arbitrariness in the movement of prices. But I sure do know that when I said it, my favorite word, the price of every commodity is determined by the supply and demand. And because it let them move it up to whatever the price they want to move it to. But my dad was telling me this morning, he went to the airport to go and draw some people. But normally, on the trip back, it takes you about 2 hours. But it took him 30 minutes because the roads were
free.
The roads were free. So what they are seeing is even those who are, the filling stations are also talking about the fact that their quantum of, the sales figures, quantum of PMS sold, has drastically reduced.
Yeah.
So that's why the issue of first of demand and supply will work. So load your tanks, load your this thing. If nobody's buying, what they're going to do? You must look for ways of selling because they have cost of fund.
Yeah.
See, that's the basket of hardest thing but these are early days. That mix is not there yet. Remember I said the supply is not, it's all still NMPs coming. We just heard that 1 or 2 independents have just brought in products and they're going to borrow money from banks to do that. And when they bring them products, they must have sell it to pay back the bank loans. So they won't go there and, let them move the price to the roofs. Nobody's going to buy. And that's how the interplay of market forces will start coming in and bringing the price down as supply improves. But these are early days in that process.
Yeah.
So as to the calculation of their pricing, we will do that independently.
Okay.
Everybody, the secrecy and lack of transparency in that calculation will unravel that.
Yes.
And know what the landed cost. So that era is gone, where anybody can just, hoodwink people and just move prices up. But the issue is when we sit there, hear the MD or NMB say, it's market forces that moving the price up and whatever. It's a market forces, but see, know this. Let me put it out there for my fellow citizens. Once we have removed fuel subsidy, and we left it to be determined by the price in the market. Remember, the fuel consumption in Nigeria is what? Imported now.
Right. Yep.
As the dollar to Naira price gets worse,
Okay.
please expect the fuel prices to what? To
Go
rise.
up. So go up.
Logical.
Yeah.
Until, as somebody said, a miracle happens or supply gets better.
Right.
That's what we're facing.
Straightforward.
So when supply gets better, all these calculations, whatever, if you stock your filling station up, put the price at 1 million naira, nobody come and buy. It's happening now. You know, I was passing to the marriage place. This marriage place. Normally, the whole place is filled with cars and whatever, traffic.
Or the register.
Register.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, the Ikoyi register.
You know, the place is now literally empty.
It costs money to marry now. It costs a lot of money to get married.
They're looking for excuses. So that is that.
Yeah.
But the truth is that people are suffering.
Yeah, yeah.
And the government must quickly address these things. Lagos State, for example, the blue line, the red line, they must quickly, cut off 3 months or 4 months from the commencement time, so that things start working. More buses must be put on the road. There are buses that can use gases now. So people must start thinking holistically.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And so not the issue of 8,000 naira that you want to hand over to
the palliative,
palliatives and whatever.
Well, they've turned around.
Yeah,
now. They want to review.
Yeah, but I mean, also, let me just put it out there. Mr. Dela, I think Dela, that's his name.
Yes.
We beg you, in the name of God. We beg in the name of God. Please, one of the things that we didn't like in the last government was this word naysayers.
Yeah.
Don't use naysayers for us in your communication.
Yeah.
The era has passed where you just push out press release and just think that will gobble them up.
Yeah.
You put it in your favorite channel and just believe it. That will not happen again. You forget that a lot of people have their own mini TVs, mini channels. They can do Instagram Live and have 2,000 people watching them and whatever. So the government is open now. It's out of your hand. Every policy that you put out there, people must criticize it.
Yeah.
And so they need to think. There are so many things to do. There must be rigor involved in thinking process. And that's what I said, the government in Nigeria, they always lack of rigor. I mean, they just do things very elementary and they don't think through things. I'm surprised. There are many things they can do.
Yeah.
And let me move now to
money supply. Yes.
Money supply. The report said from between May and June,
yeah.
And it moved about 8 trillion.
Yes.
Now let me tell you, ordinarily somebody just panic. But you see, the issue is, listen, that a lot of banks just woke up. Day one, the next day, their balance sheets moved by 460 to 750.
Yeah, that's against the dollar.
Against the dollar.
Yeah.
So those who had domestic account balances and whatever, large sizely, they just had increase in the deposits that moved from 460 calculation to 750. So you found that without new liquidity coming into the banks, just a mere balance sheet translation has led to that money growth. At the same time also, the new CBN, let me use the acronym.
There you go.
Had come in, and also, remember the CBN had historically had several ways of managing money supply. They had these special bills, they had these discretionary CRRs, and so the CRR in Nigeria was about at 2.5%. On this program, we calculated it
several times
and said that some banks' effective CRR is about 70%. So what the central bank had done has been to bring down the CRR for some banks, most banks, to 2.5%, and release the excess CRR being held, sterilizing the vault of CBN, and that has gone back to the bank's liquidity.
Right.
So that was the translation of the balance sheet of the banks from 460, to 750, has led to that. Just for our viewers, if you had $1,000 before, it was 460,000 naira. The next day you wake up, it becomes 70,000 naira.
Yeah.
That's basically what happened there.
Yeah.
Plus the issue of the fact that Central Bank released the CRR
back into the system.
for them.
So Chika, now, we ask you about MPC every time. So now, with the fight against inflation, what is the central bank not in a quagmire? Because I don't know if they will raise the rates next week or what they will do with CRR, because liquidity is now so high. How do you now fight inflation?
Even before that, let me throw something in the mix.
Okay.
Which I'm sure you're going to bring it up. The fact that we're told that FAC allocation in July going to be the highest in the history of Nigeria.
Yes.
About 1.9 trillion.
Yes.
3 times that of May, maybe twice that of June.
Yes.
So, again, it's scary for me.
Right.
Because you see, where, in those areas when we have people like Latif Jayakonde, Sam Mbakwe, Obamudia as governors, who know that when this money goes to the subnationals, some things will start happening.
Yeah.
Not consumption. So we worry if these monies are released to the subnationals, you won't just rush to the market and start consuming.
Right.
And then the pressure becomes the additional pressure on the foreign market and additional pressure on inflation without creating expanding the productive base of the economy.
Exactly.
That's basically what the problem that we face. So yeah, your fear is genuine because I thought about this I think last week and I said the investment outlet for banks now is very low.
Right.
1-2%. Of course, when the supply of money is massive, it's a lot. Expect interest rate to go down.
Yeah.
But CBN must intentionally also, as part of their work, because the key work is money supply, and we hope that we'll go back to that now. Start, even if it's create special bills that are interesting for people, banks to invest in, to enable them to start taking that money from the system. Not centralizing it in the way in the past, but this way, conventional way, CBN manages money supply.
Yeah.
So it makes it interesting for banks instead of 1 or 2, because if the only interest for them is 1 or 2% to invest in, they start looking for that thing to do with the money.
Right. Can chase dollars.
They chase dollars. I don't want to talk about it, but they chase dollars.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
But the issue is that if you have bills, even 10%, 11%, treasurers can push those naira to that place. But again, the pressure now is on the states. We hope that the state governors will take this money, pay off the arrears of salaries they're owing.
Right, pensions.
Pay off the arrears of pension.
Yeah.
Pay off contractors that have been owing for generations.
Yeah.
And so that the system equalizes.
Right. Clear the backlog.
Clear the backlog.
Right.
Now, but you see, Nigeria is a very funny country.
Yeah.
On this program, I told you also that, that the state governors now, how many of them are coming now, that the next people who will be smiling now are the Toyota distributors.
Right. You said it's...
Toyota distributors. Look at what's happening in the National Assembly.
Yeah.
They want to buy...
Oh, they're saying it's for furniture now. They're saying
no, another one. There's another one that has to do with the bulletproof cars.
Right, okay, yes.
And Land Cruiser Jeep for senators.
Yeah.
And then Prado for this thing.
Yeah.
Nobody... See, let me ask you a question. Do you think the Senate President does not know that if that money is put into local producers of motor vehicles...
Right. You can boost the economy.
Do you think he doesn't know?
Jobs,
He doesn't know?
He knows.
Do you think the Speaker of the House of Reps doesn't know that? So why don't they do it?
Right.
Why is it that they're going to give the money to Japanese economy?
Solid question.
So the other question you should ask,
Yeah.
it can only be what? Self-interest.
Right.
Self-interest. Because there are so many brokers there out campaigning. Meanwhile, we're a broke country. All this money, see, the same Senate and House of Reps approve borrowings. These vehicles are going to be bought with borrowings. Instead of putting money into the economy, Innocent, Vaughan, all of them, we acquire new equipment, employ more people, pay more taxes, and the economy is going to reflect.
Yeah.
We want to carry the money and give to Japanese people.
Japan.
And Japanese people, those things are imported. Additional pressure on our foreign exchange, transfer the work to listen. But they know. They know. So why are they not doing it? That's why I say that, sometimes we're not a very serious country.
Well, we're
here. Sacrifices
that need to be made.
Required to be made. I told you before, you asked me sometime when they're doing about this first subsidy, I said, for me, it's very simple to do. Not very simple, I mean, it's easier to do when the people come out and say, see, we are sacrificing. This is our own sacrifice. Okay? We'll not change this, but the nation. But now, when they hear that these things are happening, and these are buying new cars, and these are doing furniture, 70 billion and whatever, meanwhile, people cannot even go to work.
Yeah.
You worry. You worry. I thought things would be different, really.
Well, it's early days now. You said early days, so...
Yeah, but I mean, you're going to know sometimes...
We have to have some hope.
When your grandmother is cutting the pepper, it might give you an idea that the food is coming. But now...
We haven't seen the food.
We haven't seen it yet. So,
the stomach is wrong.
So I think that the president should take hold of things. As he's asking for Nigerians to sacrifice,
government needs to sacrifice
also. Government layers of government must sacrifice also.
A whole lot to get into. All right, business analyst Chika Mbonu. Chika, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate you talking to